What's up, everyone? Also, I was saying, Ron, I can't hear you at all. I don't know if you could hear me in the backstage. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, I couldn't hear you when I was in the backstage. I was like, I hope that other people can hear him, or else he's just been talking to himself for 4 minutes.
I I've been talking to myself for the last 4 minutes.
Ah, shoot.
I've been talking to myself for the last 4 minutes. However, thank you guys. Thank you, Mish, for letting me know to check in my 2-stage mute verifications. Oh yeah, we got a backstage. Like right now, coming to the stage, bringing her from the backstage to the front stage. Y'all give it up to the one and only, the illustrious, the lovely L.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Yeah, that girl right there. Yes. Yeah, Mish, we got a backstage.
yeah, we have a backstage. That's where I just was.
Yes.
It's like a digital backstage.
That's interesting. Let's use Twitch directly to stream Mish, right? So it's not like you're using a specific streaming platform. You just kind of go on Twitch and go. But for a lot of platforms like StreamYard or other streaming, I imagine that like you normally have like a little area that you can kind of get into where only the host can see you, and then boom, add them when you're ready. I'm dead.
You get some.
Backstage passes.
Oh, Streamlabs, not Streamlabs coming for.
Yo,
What's up, Chad, though? Good to see you on Twitch.
yes.
Streamlabs is coming for your life, but it's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dad.
Hey.
Hey, lone
Yeah,
clap.
no, it was me. It was my bad. The last 4 minutes I've been talking to myself and wasn't none of y'all hearing me whatsoever. Technology, love it and hate it, and at the same time, I'm gonna just say it was also operator error. So operator error was at its best. Streamlabs need to mind. Yeah, Streamlabs is gonna be Streamlabs. Let Streamlabs be great at some point in time. You know. So now, since everybody can hear me, how's everybody's weekend? Doing a pulse check and
What?
My weekend was pretty fun. Like, I feel bad because I had to cancel on a new friend that I'm making, which is kind of exciting. But I had to cancel on him because I thought I was coming down with something, but
mm,
I had like a runny nose for like a few days. I was just
mm,
oh no. I was like, let me just kind of, like not do anything. But then I started to feel fine, but I also didn't really want to drink, even though I ended up drinking anyway. Because I only had like 2 beers though, but like
okay.
I went out with like another friend who's like, she tends to eat really healthy, but she really wanted a cheeseburger, and that's like a big deal for her. So I was like, yeah, I'll get a cheeseburger with you. So we went to like this place that I've never been to. Apparently got good ratings, and we got a cheeseburger. It was pretty good. We ate outside. It was like 0 people were wearing masks. But I don't know. I feel like COVID has kind of like run its course through Florida, and like I'm in a pretty, I don't know how but I think I'm in like the second biggest county in terms of population. I think Miami-Dade is the most populated. So yeah, I think I'm in the second most populated county. So, I'm sure it ran through pretty much everyone, but I'm still like trying to be cautious and everything.
Gotcha.
Oh, so something funny literally just happened. I was watching this show called Inventing Anna because it's like a Shonda Rhimes show, and it's, I don't really know. It's like about like this woman. Like we're still trying to like kind of figure her out. Like we don't know if she's like a con artist or if she or what have you exactly. But
Mhm.
I didn't finish the scene yet because I had to jump on. But like, there was a scene where like they're talking about her, like this millionaire woman who I guess would hang out with Anna. So like they met at like an art show or like an art museum or some kind, and she was like, oh, Anna impressed me with her knowledge of art. And so like they showed a picture of an untitled film still by Cindy Sherman. And I was like, holy shit. So like what's literally on my coffee table right now, like the book is open and
Mhm.
it's been on my coffee table for over a year now, is like a book of Cindy Sherman untitled film stills. And I was just like,
Wow.
holy shit. So I could have impressed a multimillionaire woman with my knowledge of art this whole time. and,
Exactly.
and like became friends with her and everything. But
Hey, the
oh
more you
well,
know.
maybe for the next time. But at least I know my art as I
There you go.
damn well knew.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
But yeah, if you ever get the chance to see any Cindy Sherman art, like she does, like she calls them like film stills because it's her in like these poses, and like how it's shot almost looks like a still from a film, but like it almost looks familiar, but
Mhm.
these films have never happened before.
Oh.
Yeah, because like she's like the subject of it. She's like taken. I assume she sets up the photos and everything, and took the photos herself. So like sometimes you see her, like I could show you because I have the book here.
Go for it.
This one was actually the one that was in the show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it looks like something that you've seen in a movie or something, but
Mhm.
it's never happened. And I used to be like an art major. Here's a good one. Let me see. Like I used to be an art major, and that's when I learned about Cindy Sherman, and I was like, this is really really awesome. It's like if I were to go into photography, which I've considered doing, but just never have. This one's a famous one. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like her expression, I think it's just incredible. Like this would have been the type of photography like I would have done, just like a film still. You look like you're in a movie, but you're actually not.
Because that's like a real portrait of a real person. It's just they made it look like it was from a phone.
Right. Yeah, it's her. And she just makes it look like it's from a film. So it's pretty cool.
Right.
If it hasn't happened like the movie, does that mean it's fake? I wouldn't say so. I feel like that's like the famous, like what's it like, Ceci n'est pas une pipe, which like this is not a pipe. This is actually just a picture of a pipe. Do you know of that artwork? Let me see if I can find it. This is not a pipe. It's very famous. Like this by the Belgian surrealist painter Rene Magritte. Let me find a like copy link address. So the Ceci n'est pas une pipe. It's a long ass link, but whatever.
Oh, good.
Yeah, let me see if I can find like a shorter one. But it's like a picture of it's a painting of a pipe. It's a drawing of a pipe, and underneath is in French it says, "This is not a pipe," and it's true. It's not a pipe. You can't pick it up and start smoking tobacco out of it. It is literally a picture of a pipe. So I feel that's in a way like similar to what like Cindy Sherman's doing. It's like it's not necessarily fake, like it's a real photo. Like like she I believe went out there, or like some of these pictures are probably like in her house or somewhere, and and she Yeah, she took those photos. So it's like, yeah, it's not a film. This is not a film, but it is. I mean, I guess it technically took film to make it because it's a picture.
This is more like staged. Like it's not like fake. I feel like, oh, this is fake. It's more like staged. It was made to look a certain way, but it
Yeah.
actually happened.
Like it's kind of like, like models, like, trying to make a scene, or like actors and actresses making a movie. That's technically not real.
So, but before we go on, Toby, I need you to. Stop it.
This is a live
Stop
stream.
it.
This is a live stream.
I love it.
I need you to. There's somebody here who is a special guest, and I think you know this person. Could you give us a introduction to this person who's coming to the stage next?
Oh yes. My good friend.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because we met first through like just social networks, professional Black groups. And then we got to meet in person before. But my great friend Kiara, she was interested in this topic overall. Well, just overall the topics that we've been having. And so I was like, hey, yeah, if you want to be a guest, we're talking about love and self-love, mental health type stuff, which we've talked about amongst ourselves. And so very excited to have her on here and be able to catch up, hear her insight, and just, talk, shoot the crap, as some might say.
There you go.
Give it up for, I can't say illustrious, but my wonderful. God dang it.
Yes. There you go. All right.
My wonderful, bright, gleaming friend, Kiara.
Hey guys.
Hey. What's up?
Hey.
I'm so excited to have you on
Yes.
here.
Yes, finally. I've been following you guys for a while now, so I'm glad to be part of it.
Nice.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, go ahead, El. Get that shoulder game going. I saw it. Yeah.
I do it when I'm happy.
So, Kiara, tell the world a little bit about yourself and things of that nature, so folks can put a name and a face together, and so who we got brought onto the show.
Okay, well, hi everyone. I'm Kiara. Anything specific? Like
Just whatever comes to mind.
Sure. I'm Kiara. I work in healthcare. I'm a well-rounded person, open-minded, love having different broad discussions with people. Yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of the show.
Hey, there you go.
What like sector aspect of healthcare do you work in?
I'm a traveling nurse currently.
Nice.
Travel.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you currently traveling?
Yes, I'm currently working in the Bronx.
Okay.
It's actually my last week there, and then I'll be going somewhere else.
Dang.
Yes.
Do you know where you're going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Seattle next month. So.
Oh wow. Okay. So from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast.
Yes, I want to be surrounded by mountains. I want to go hiking,
True.
be outdoors.
Yeah.
There you go.
So.
I love it.
There we go. I love it.
The mountains are gorgeous.
Yeah, I feel like I've always heard about the different places that you were trying to go to. In our conversations, like, I mean, obviously you've been out here, like near the Boston area, New York. I feel like you've been in New York a lot, actually, which makes sense because kind of like it's closer to home. And then East Coast, West Coast, actually. Where were you before? Like maybe last year. I remember when you were doing the traveling nurse. I knew there was a place that you were going to that was very far. I don't know if it was like Colorado or if it was like Arizona, or maybe I'm making that up in my head.
Yeah, I think you're making that up. I've been on the East Coast for a while.
So you've never been out west or anything?
No, only for like short weekends, but never for a long period of time. So.
Okay, so he wasn't totally making it up, but kind of.
Right.
Maybe that's up. I don't know.
And you guys are all in the East Coast, correct?
Yes.
Boston area.
No, not Boston area. I'm in South Florida.
Oh wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like Midwest Michigan. I'm over there by Indiana, Illinois, Ohio.
Okay, cool. So how did you guys all connect? Just a short background story.
Sure. Twitter. We were all
Cool.
part of, like the Yang Gang. There was like a sector of the Yang Gang that was like, the Melanated Council of Yang. So for us that were, Black and supporters of Andrew Yang, so we all connected via Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we all decided to start a live stream podcast, and we've been doing it for almost 2 years now.
Isn't Andrew Yang from Seattle, or am I wrong?
No, he's from New York.
Oh, I'm like, he doesn't have anything to do with it, because I saw like a tweet about something about like Seattle with Andrew Yang. Maybe it was someone else.
He often gets like called like a California tech bro because he was always talking about, like the future of technology and automation and how that's, taking people's jobs away essentially. So they kind of just connected like, just assumed and inferenced and connected the two. It's like, oh, he talks about technology, he's smart, he's Asian, therefore California.
Do you guys still support him after his Joe Rogan comment?
We're getting spicy today.
I mean, that's a good question. Like, I don't know, because like we've like spoken to Yang personally, not about that, but like, in the past, like we've had like web, like Zoom like conversations with him. So it's like, it's hard because like we know him personally.
Right.
So it's like, it's like kind of saying like, yeah, like being like cussing out your friend, but like, that's still your friend, So it's like, it's a little different because it's like, okay, like we technically know him, like it just kind of makes it hard because, like I know like a couple of politicians personally, and I can see why people who don't know politicians personally could just have like, like this very quick to turn, very quick to just be like, hey, fuck this person, fuck this guy, or what have you. And I totally understand. I totally get that. It's just a little bit difficult. It just seems like you're just kind of mad at a friend, for like misspeaking. Like that's how I feel, and I guess Ron agrees, and Toby.
Yeah,
definitely part of cancel culture. Unfortunately, I'm not for cancel culture, but
oh no, I'm not either. Like, because we all make mistakes.
right.
We've all said some stupid ass shit. Like I'm sure I have on this stream probably like 11 times. But I'm not famous. So like, I'm not like influencing the masses, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, I just like promoted Cindy Sherman, but it's not like I'm going to get some free Cindy Sherman merch, like nothing's going to happen. So, that's just, I guess, kind of the case. But yeah, that's the sucky part about cancel culture, because I remember in middle school, one of my teachers had like a poster on her door, and it said, "When I do good, no one remembers. When I do bad, no one forgets."
Mm-hmm.
And that like seems to be the case. And like the internet definitely does not forget. And I feel like, liberals and people who are more so left leaning, we tend to get very unforgiving. Like sometimes, people will dig up tweets from like 10 years ago and use it against people like what's his face, Kevin Hart, about
right.
like that
LGBTQ community, right?
That tweet, and why he couldn't host the Oscars because of like some bullshit 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sort of like, it's like to get mad about something that you said 10 years ago, it's like, that's not even like, I guess I want like damaging, like, it's not like, oh, this person is like, oh, I hurt this person 10 years ago physically, and this is why they couldn't get a job physically, ha ha ha. And then that came back to me 10 years ago. Oh, 10 years later, okay, I can understand that.
Right.
But if it's just like saying, I can't fucking stand my ex-boyfriend, I hope you know, like he like gets fired, and then 10 years later he gets fired. Like, should I get in trouble for that? You know?
I mean, you did put it out into the universe, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. That's a good point. That's a good point. But you know,
Yeah, that's karma for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like what Dad said, it's not reacting, it's digging. I wholeheartedly agree. I wasn't a fan of Yang's Joe Rogan comment because it was just like, are you fucking serious? Like, but you know, that's just the annoying. I don't really want to call it price of being Black, but it's like, it is. It's just
right.
like, oh, here we go, this bullshit again. I thought you knew better, but
Obviously, no.
you again.
Yeah, there's
Like,
extra
you want to be
sensitivity.
progressing forward, and then you keep doing this bullshit that just brings us back to square one. Here we go. Like,
Oh,
Yeah. There's definitely
Jeez.
some questionable things I've probably posted somewhere.
I posted questionable things like yesterday.
Ah,
Oh man, yeah. I guess like people definitely have different views. You have the stands who like Yang can do no wrong, and that honestly you could do that for any politician, for the Bernies, for the Warrens, for whoever, and you will unapologetically stand this person, unironically. And I'm like, okay, no, we have to be able to step back and criticize those that we actually look up to, and see like what was the misstep here, and I kind of just like keep the good and not discard because they're not trying to act like it didn't happen, but like you can like address it, correct it, say like, yeah, I'm not cool with that. But it's just like your whole identity doesn't have to be tied to all of this, even though like a lot of us did go pretty hard
For
for
sure.
Yang, and there's still great ideas that have been pushed forward. Obviously, we're talking about basic income much more nationally than it ever has been talked about. Really,
Right.
the pandemic, but if not for the campaign,
Mhm.
you know, where would we be? And there's even other things that became more mainstream to talk about that I feel like may not have been before. A lot of work that was already being done, but like a lot of things that were not said publicly on the debate stage, like, yeah, let's decriminalize drugs or sex work possibly. So I feel like there's like good ideas that happen and they shouldn't be thrown out because the person said something that was problematic, right? It's like you said, people forget all the good things that were advocated for and then just crucify you for the bad. Now, sometimes if that bad like goes into conflict with the good stuff you've done, then people can really call you out and be like, yo, this doesn't match up with who I knew you as. But sometimes if it doesn't go directly in conflict, then of course you still address it, say this wasn't right, but I'm not going to throw out the entire human being. But
Go to bat for the
Go
bat.
back to
Value
bat.
added
Yeah.
tax. Funny.
actually, I don't really hear people talk about the VAT these days.
I know. I was just thinking about it today or so, and I was like, that was like we should have that, the value added tax. Like every
Yeah.
other like country has it, especially the developed countries. And
Yes.
we like use that money to give to ourselves. It's like that would
yeah.
you know that would just solve so many issues, and like, we just be out here minding our own business. You know, like, it's like, now we have to care. I understand caring is the right thing to do, but Jesus, it is exhausting.
Yeah.
Big facts. Big facts.
Too aware and too empathetic to what's going on in the world.
Yeah. Especially the people who are very careless. It's like, listen, I understand that you're a human at the end of the day. It's like, but you make it hard for me not to just Thanos snap you out of existence because you're pushing those buttons. Like, come on. I mean, true.
Yeah.
True. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like
That
if you
is-
care about everything, like you're just gonna go and dive into like deep depression. You know, that's why people are careless, you know, because they rather like, for instance, maybe like laugh than cry, you know. That's what I say when I'm at work. Like I might just laugh it off or else I'll just be in a corner crying all day. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
So I think you definitely need a balance, so between both,
Oh yeah,
for sure.
agreed.
Yeah,
Definitely
Yeah.
agreed.
highly agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
That's like
agreed.
dark humor and like stuff like that. It's not like I literally think some XYZ thing is funny. But sometimes you can cope with some dark humor for some crazy stuff that happened. Like we almost got into World War III maybe with Iran, and obviously that would have been tragic. But like the memes they were on fire. And there's other things that happen, and it's just like, yep, this is the reaction because otherwise, what kind of craziness? Like you just go into like a mental spiral. Or like, is this really the
Yes.
world?
No, no.
Right now. I don't know.
Right. I mean, the world will never know, but at any rate, we're gonna switch gears if it's okay with everybody.
I'm just gonna address what Mish said. Roscato. I was drinking this a little bit yesterday. I finished it right now because it was mostly gone. Roscato, sweet red, gold. It's good. Smooth for sure. Didn't really burn. I was catching up with a friend yesterday, a good friend of mine, and so we had some drinks, some food.
Nice.
So it was just nice. It was just like a platonic hangout with a good friend. Who I mean, she has like her own person, but like we were just able to catch up and just be able to have two friends talking on Valentine's Day. I should do that more. I know Galentine's is a thing with women, but like I haven't been like, yo, bro, homies, let's get
It's Palentine's.
Palentine's?
Yeah.
I've never heard this in my life, but
What is that? On the 12th? I don't know, because Galentine's is on the 13th.
Valentine's on the 14th.
No, Galentine's is on the 13th.
Galentine's is on the 13th.
is it on the 13th?
I thought they're all on the 14th.
I thought it was the day before.
Oh.
Maybe, that does kind of sound familiar. So Palentine's, I guess we're just gonna get the 2 days before.
The guys get 2 days before it.
I don't know nothing about it. I'm lost. I'm lost, and that's one avenue I have not navigated down. So I don't know. But this one here,
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
right? Oh man, that was hilarious. And somehow somebody is still bit him in the butt. And yet again, he's one of those where it's like, yeah, he will say something stupid, and for whatever reason, it'll make headlines. Like Trump says,
That's one of the reasons why I voted for Biden. I was just like, I'm just fucking tired of every single thing Trump's saying. And granted, yeah, a lot of it was damaging to everyone that wasn't a straight white Christian man. But like, it was just, and like, I just hate how the social media algorithms were just like, more hate, more hate. That was
Clicks.
clickbait was
Clicks, reactions. People made a career out of replying to Trump's tweets, and I was like, I could not do like this. Could not be me. Like, I mean, it's like nice. It's not a bad gig. You get followers, people. Like, yo, that guy really just told him. But like, at the end of the day, what's going on?
Yeah, I would have just destroyed my mental health. I would have just absolutely destroyed it if that was just what I did every day, just to go online, just to hate. Whatever.
This comment right here, yes, yes. Like, listen, whatever y'all do, that is not my president. I did not vote for that man. No, y'all can do whatever you want to do with him and his followers and his whole cabinet. Like, just leave me and mine's out of it, please.
Yeah,
just leave me and mine's out of it. Oh, jeez.
But yes, no. Maybe next year, 2023. I'm gonna celebrate Palentine's or infiltrate a Galentine celebration. I don't know.
Maybe you'll have a Valentine.
Oh, now you're going for some crazy bold predictions. Kara, you've always been a big
No, the year a lot can change.
It's true. A lot can
Facts.
change. That's the scary part.
bro.
Like I'm low-key afraid of just like, holy shit, what if I like meet the love of my life? Like I totally could. And then like next year we could be engaged. That's fucking terrifying. That's like it's a whole different life. But it's also, I guess, what I want. But
Yes.
I guess it's like, that would be nice. That's also terrifying.
Do we really want to do this one? I don't know. This is like opening up Pandora's box.
That's like the equivalent of that's like you hear what Trump said? Nothing, you idiots. Donald Trump's dead. He's locked in my basement.
Yes, Eminem reference. Yes.
Yes. It's like that. His Twitter doesn't exist. I could say no. I could say no to an engagement. But what if I like him? This mythical man that I might meet this year. That might change my life next year.
Or maybe you'll meet him very beginning of next year and get engaged by Valentine's Day. Hey, crazier things.
That's a month and a half.
Love at first sight.
That's true.
Have you seen Hallmark movies? If it can happen to these random people from the small towns of America, it can happen to you, Al.
Yeah, like an insanely hot man just moves in. Or absolutely, I'd say no.
I mean, you don't want to live in Lord of the Rings.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Y'all bring us up some good points. I love it. I love it. And then speaking of, speaking of love, yes. Because of the fact that tonight's episode is entitled "Love Thyself," and even yes, we kind of laugh and joked about a lot of things, but at the same time, understanding that in order for us to be prepared for anything, we got to deal with us 10 times out of 10. And whether we like to deal with us or not, we're going to have to. And so tonight's episode is Love Thyself, basically centered around things we should do or what we're already doing to make ourselves a better person each and every day. And also, please get that mental health checked. I mean, last year was a trying year. The year before that was a trying year. The year before that was a trying year. 2022, still you got some residuals that came with you, but still get your health, get that mental taken care of. So we're gonna talk about that. We'll talk about the physical health, emotional health. Anything that's pertaining to you as an individual person. We're going to try to cover as much as that as possible and go from there. All right. So, who's ready to get dirty, I guess? I don't know.
Get down dirty.
Get down there. Have some heart to heart to the eighth kind. I don't know. Just have that conversation because it's what we do. We'll talk about some stuff that, it's not going to be super personal, but at the same time, just be like, yeah, I can relate to that. And throw in your own ideas. In chat, as you guys already know, you guys are more than welcome to shoot your ideas, shoot your topics. And like we always do, we'll try to catch them, put them up, answer them, and just have a nice conversation. Nice conversation. All right. So, love thyself. What does it mean to love yourself? What does it mean to love yourself? And I'll post that in the chat. And as I'm typing, any one of you guys can go and chime in at your leisure and have at it.
Yeah, I think loving yourself is having boundaries, not settling for less and not allowing people to cross your boundaries. I also think of like loving yourself is just like doing internal work,
Hmm.
like putting in that work in terms of having like emotional wealth, mental wealth. Like you said, you talk about mental health, like dealing with your trauma, taking care of your body physically, watching what you put in it, like watching what you listen to. Also watching what comes out of your mouth too. That's all comes with self love. Yeah, for me, self love is just like internal. It's like a lot of internal work, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kira, I really liked when you mentioned what comes out of your own mouth, because that's really true. I remember seeing like I don't know if Bruce Lee really actually said this or something like that, but it was like a picture of him and some quote, and it said, like, don't talk negatively about yourself because your body can't tell the difference or something like that, even if like when you're joking. And I have noticed that um, because like I've been in a depression for I don't know how long, but since I've been like kind of coming out of that, um, I've noticed that I haven't really been talking negatively about myself even as a joke. And I don't know if I'm doing it like consciously or unconsciously, but it is like noticeable how like I am starting to speak more positively about things, and especially myself, which is quite honestly like a first for me. Okay, enjoy yourself in Jamaica.
Mhm.
Speaking of Jamaica, I am Jamaican, and Jamaicans, especially like anybody here, like I'm sure Mark can relate. Um, our family tends to be we tend to be very negative. Like like if you're like going to like a family gathering, they'll just be like, "Oh, you got fatty? You gained weight?" And it's like, "Hi, good to see you too." That's like pretty much how they say hi to you. Or
Yeah.
you know, and it's but like if you try to stick up to for yourself or do anything, then it's like you can't take a joke essentially, or it's like, oh, you're too sensitive and blah blah blah. And it's like, no, it's just I didn't really want to freaking hear that as soon as I walked through the door. Now I'm self-conscious. But like we like growing up, like we definitely hear like just like very negative things about like our parents would speak up to us very negatively or about us very negatively, and we're supposed to sort of like take that, and like you don't really know the difference, and it's just like then you grow up and you have a ton of anxiety and a lot of like, or you become depressed or what have you. A little bit of backstory about me. My mom was living with me for 2.5 years from 2019, and she just moved out in September 2021. So, because she was leaving my father. So, in addition to like her getting a divorce and leaving the man that she's been with for nearly 40 years, and coming to live with me, who I was just like living alone and enjoying it immensely, she's just sort of like moved in and didn't really change, like she maybe like a smidge, but she would still just be like just very negative and very not really uplifting essentially. And 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 I have noticed that like a lot of times like we think we may be uplifting somebody, but when we're really not, we're actually like talking down to them or talking negatively about them, and it's just like coming from like a good place, but it's not necessarily it's not really coming out the right way. But yeah, so just like living with her and just like her constantly talking about my looks, because I was in 2019 I was like 20 pounds heavier, and you just you know, if you're just a slightly imperfect around my mom and you're one of her kids, you know, you just can't have it. So, and she will just remind you over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So, you know, I had to deal with that bullshit for 2.5 years, and it was, you know, mentally damaging. And I fortunately sought out therapy. One of my friends recommended my current therapist because I had no idea how to. I was like, I don't know who to pick from this list of therapists. He is a black man, which is cool. You know, there's not too many black therapists to begin with, and black male therapists. But you know, fortunately, I was able to find him, and you know, I've been working. He's been working with me for like, I don't know, since like May or June or something. So it's been great. You know, like I've been, you know, working out more, which I feel like is a sign of also loving yourself and, you know, helping yourself, and, you know, seeing a therapist, and if you can, and, you know, like just being able to unlearn a lot of things that you just assumed was true. And it's like, it's almost like the funniest little things. Like, for example, during the time that my mom lived with me, I didn't really cook because she'd always just cook. And you sort of kind of go back into like your patterns of like mother and daughter rather than whole ass adult living with a whole ass adult. So like, so yeah, so she was living with, you know, so she was like cooking for most of the time, and you know, for, like all the time. I shouldn't like say like exaggerate. But she'd always criticize me that I didn't really cook, but I didn't really want to cook, and as opposed to like, because she was always just in the kitchen doing her thing, and you know, I didn't want her to like tell me how to, you know, like peel the potato or how to cut the tomato, or you know, how to do this, and because she's like very like got it, do it her way or the highway when it comes to everything, and it just makes you feel like whatever it is that you're doing is wrong. So, you know, after she left, of course, I'm, you know, been working out, trying to get to, you know, like a particular body goal or whatever. So I've been like eating better and eating right. So I had to, you know, prepare my own food. But for whatever reason, I never really considered what I was making considered cooking. So one of my friends from college came and like visited me, and I happened to have like salmon cooked and well, yeah, salmon cooked and some rice. And I was like finishing something, and I was just like, yeah, you know, I don't really cook, blah blah blah. It was like, or I don't, or I said something like that, like an offhanded comment about myself, and he said, "She says while cooking." I was like, and I just that just blew my mind because I literally was cooking. It's like, how the fuck was this salmon made if I cooked it? But I don't know what it was. It was just like I just didn't feel like I was cooking, even though I was cooking. I'm not getting sick from my food, so I'm cooking it correctly. So like, but it was just like that little nugget of my mom always, you know, complaining and bitching how I don't cook made me feel like I don't know how to cook when I actually do know how to cook. I just didn't think because I didn't cook exactly like my mom does in the way that she does doesn't mean just meant that I didn't know how to cook when that's not true at all. So, you know, I'm starting to like definitely just like kind of unlearn a lot of things, and like the weird, I want to say like programming almost that like your like parents kind of give to their children, and you're like, oh, I'm a failure because of XYZ. I don't know how to do this because I don't do it exactly like this way, and that's not even the case at all. Like, you know, I guarantee that all of us are doing a whole lot better than we actually give ourselves credit for, and we shouldn't really be as hard on ourselves as we are, because we're trying to fit like a certain thing when we should just be becoming a better version of ourselves. So I don't know, that's my tangent.
No, you're good.
It's
Thanks
nice.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can all relate to that, seriously, especially like when it comes to body image, like just being Black in general. Like for me, I was raised in a my dad's Ethiopian, my mom's African American, so I was raised like kind of like in a diverse household per se, but like weight was a big issue, especially when it came to like my African aunties, like criticizing my brother and I at a young age. You know, we used to be chubby, we were kids. So like, and still to this day, that traumatizes me. And I feel like because of them and certain things my mom would say, I have body dysmorphia still. Like
Mhm.
it's slowly like fading, you know, the more I like work on myself and learn to love myself and do, like you said, unlearning. It's very unfortunate, like for me, but I realize like me having these conversations with my parents now has definitely helped me, you know, get to like a solid place in terms of like bettering my self-esteem and also just like setting boundaries in place, like I said in the beginning. Like that's an expression of self-love, like telling people what you want and what you don't want, you know,
Mhm.
having these open honest conversations with our parents because we're adults. What can they possibly say? Like we have to express ourselves to them so they can unlearn too and we can teach them as well.
Big facts.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
Big facts.
Mhm.
Big facts.
Thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
Toby, you want to step up to the
Um,
plate?
What do I got to add? This is so eloquently everything well said. Um, well, like more broadly about self love, right? I mean, there's like sure family things, but I mean, I can kind of relate to some of that because I wouldn't say necessarily the cooking aspect or even the body aspect. I know it's different for guys versus girls, but sometimes you do feel like you're not necessarily doing enough. You beat yourself up,
Mm.
even though like we like I feel like we all are pretty like relatively doing well in life. Like some kind of jobs, families that for the most part we love and we interact with. Like there's a lot like we're in a lot better place. Like if you're going to take a spectrum and talk about like quartiles or percentiles, like a lot of us are doing pretty well, pretty freaking well for ourselves. But we kind of end up putting ourselves down, whether it's family. I think for me it's not quite like that. But you still sometimes feel like you're not necessarily doing enough.
Mhm.
Or like you see people, and I know we talked about this on the social media sort of like slaves to the algorithm episode, where maybe you see people who are like more buff and you're like, oh, why can't I look like that? Or like maybe for me, it may not be the image like that, but people who like have been successful in other ways, like, wow, you have your own business or like you're traveling all the time, you're on vacation and you're like people who seem to be like living the best life. And I'm like, I'm just kind of here. But then there's a
Right.
lot that actually I am doing and enjoying. Like it's funny because some friends have said to me too, like, you're always partying, and I'm like, I'm not always partying. Like maybe because you're in it in the lifestyle, but like I'm like you always be having a good time or whatever. You would have to follow me on Snapchat because I don't really post on Instagram as much. But like yeah, like I do like I am out here and I am having a good time. Sometimes I curate events if I'm feeling in a good mood and a good place. And I'm like, oh, maybe I am doing a little better for myself than I thought. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Mm.
I concur. I definitely concur as well.
So are you, Chad.
Yes.
That's
Uh, for that comment, sir, I'm gonna take a drink.
I have my water too, not just wine.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, you got some water, Kira?
No, I left my water bottle upstairs.
Ah, damn it.
Ready.
it's all good. I have faith that you're hydrating, minding your business, and
Been busy all day.
Hold up. Chad, don't you start.
we're not going to scroll past that.
Like you didn't just say what you just said. Yes, yes, my what do I want to call this? I'm gonna call this my non-alcoholic rum. Bam, there we go. This is my non-alcoholic rum. That's my story. That's what I'm sticking to.
Nice.
Fight me if you want to.
Yeah. Overall, for self-love, like I know one thing, and I actually posted this. This was not really related, but I did happen to post it around the same time I was like sharing the stream like information. There was something I saw that said like overextending yourself might feel like it'll make you more valued or appreciated, but instead it just makes people take you for granted and take advantage of you. I have to find the post again. Like it was pretty short and succinct, but I literally, I was like, yeah, like I can. I was like, true that, and I was like, I need to start being like Danny Phantom and go and Ghost because if you're always present and always around, it's just like people will not necessarily appreciate you, or they'll think that you can always just be available for anything, and you're not taking care of your own stuff if you're kind of like always on call, living for people, like helping solve their problems. Oh, I have to be careful because a friend of mine will roast me. I'd always giving them a ride. I mean, okay, I'm not like I have a lot of friends who don't have cars, and I have not had a problem oftentimes giving people rides to places. But I think I was like commenting and lamenting that when it's like you're the go-to person that like they're always hitting up to like go to an event, and if you're not the person available, then they're just not like you feel like obligated sometimes. And that's just one example. It doesn't necessarily have to be giving people a ride, but you feel like when I was in grad school or even undergrad, I would help certain people with assignments, computer, math, even physics, and I was I took like intro physics, but that's not my major, but I had done well in it, so people might hit me up for like different types of physics or math or calc or whatever, and like that's cool, and I enjoyed helping people. But it's also like there are people who are paid to do this, like, or at least volunteer, like with the school. Yes, I mean, Misha's not the friend, but Misha's a friend who can roast me, and that's fine.
No.
I'll get to the roast thing because
Permission to roast. You gave me consent.
Yes,
That's fine.
you gave me consent.
I definitely
Permission granted.
told me, so that's fine. It's like, yeah, like I end up being this person who's like saving you, like, oh, if I don't help you with this assignment, you're gonna fail. And it's like I don't remember signing that in my like enrollment documents that I need to help XYZ person, or else you're gonna fail out of school too. Or like when I signed up for the lease for my apartment, if I don't take care of XYZ person, then you're gonna be homeless or whatever. Or like when I got my car lease, if I don't give you rides this amount of time, you're going to be stuck. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for any of that or even when I came out the womb, I didn't sign a contract for life for my life to be like beholden to other people. But like, yeah, wait, was the gas money something that I said? Oh, actually, I think I might have made a joke about the gas prices and gassing people up, but I think I do remember mentioning something of the sort. But in any case, like no matter what it is I'm given, it's like I didn't like Kira was saying, like you have to have boundaries because otherwise you just kind of are like free reign to be helping people, which is again something I do enjoy. That's why I like active service for myself, because I've oftentimes spent a lot of time helping other people with their things. So when people can help me, it's like a great, beautiful thing. But the reason why I said that I had to be careful to be roasted, I sounded like I was like discriminating or prejudiced against pedestrians because I was like, these people with no cars who are always like asking for rides. And I was like, I didn't say I hate pedestrians. I just was lamenting that, like, when you feel like you're always being used for something, that's one thing. But that's actually one of the lesser things, because I usually don't mind when I give people a ride, especially if we're both going to the same event anyway. But sometimes it can just be frustrating when people are like not always respectful of your time. And I'm not great. Like I show up late to stuff and X, Y, Z and whatever. But usually that's by myself. So if I show up late to event by myself, that's fine. But if I'm like, just an example, like if I'm like trying to leave somewhere and people are like not ready to leave, or like we're somewhere and people are just like, I don't know. It's sometimes you just feel like I mean, obviously I do have a choice. I could just leave and be like, screw it, find your own way. But I feel like I've never been like, I don't know, strong enough or like bold enough to just be like, I'm just going to do what I need to do for myself, even if it inconveniences you, instead of always being the one who feels like they're being inconvenienced. And so like, that's a big thing too with self-love. I feel like it's still something to work on. Like I haven't been perfect at all this year. with advocating for myself. That's actually like a big term I'm trying to use more too, is like advocating for yourself, because a lot of times you won't have people advocate for you. And I think for me, I more so have like avoidance of situations where I would run into some of these issues, but which is good in itself to be able to distance yourself from certain situations. But when they do happen, I'm not always the best at like self-advocating. And so that's a big thing for self-love that I'm currently still trying to work on. Walking peasantry.
Walking peasantry. That sounds like a weird like spin-off of The Walking Dead.
I literally, that's what I was thinking too.
Walking peasantry.
Peasants with their crosswalks and their legs and their no, it's actually not a problem. Like, but that's like my, I guess, first stab at self-love and like some of the things I've had to come to realize, because it's just like patterns, like cycles almost of like, there was a situation that was similar to this where it's just like, I've been in a situation like this before, maybe wrapped up in a different scenario, but like someone who is in desperate need of something, if it's not their grades being saved, it might be like not being able to have like a stable housing, or people who don't have rides or cars and they always kind of need to go somewhere, people who need to borrow money. And there are good friends like who have borrowed money and they pay me back, but like it still wasn't always the most convenient, where it's like, wait, well, how do I end up being the person that like has to come to the rescue? But you know, you could always kind of just say no, like that doesn't work, and then go from there, and hopefully a real friend will understand that. Like, I saw another great post, like it said that like friends who can't be there for you in your time of need are still friends. Because normally I guess the post would go, friends who aren't there for your time of need, they ain't crap, whatever.
Right.
But like that's a pretty toxic way of thinking sometimes, because we all are adults going through our own things, and we can't all like be there for other people in the same way that maybe you quote would be. Like people love to kind of be like, oh, if I was in that situation, I would easily let you stay at my place or give you this. But it's like, first of all, would you? Because you're not in the situation clearly, or you wouldn't be asking me, so you don't really know if you would. And two, not everyone can give the same way, so it's not really fair to then say that you would, like, that you're not a good enough friend. And it's not like someone said that directly to me, but I've seen that sentiment or that implication, and it's definitely not like healthy, I would say, for a friendship.
True, yeah.
Yes, you too, Russian name. You too.
Yeah, he's out there, or she.
We haven't had a spam comment in a while though. Like,
yeah, we haven't seen spam comments as much, so that's actually progress. They thankfully they're practicing self-love and they're taking care of whatever they need, and decided not to raid.
Yes.
Here's love for you, spam.
I love that for you, spam bots.
I love that for you.
They're a bit more forgiving. I'm not that forgiving when it comes to spam bots. Once you spam, you're out of there. I give zero. Anybody else, that's different. Anybody else, you're different. Spam bots, nope. Zero love.
I never say anything though.
Exactly.
I mean, Ukraine got some issues going on, so you might be right. You might be right. You might be right. But to go back to the question, as far as what it means to love yourself, as I take my spin on it, and basically just think about myself, I think I will agree with what everybody has said as far as making sure you take care of yourself, but also at the same time, just to kind of add, is also just understanding who you are as an individual, and not what people make you out to be. And especially when it comes to family does it more times than none. And I actually find myself, especially with my 3 kids, I actually find myself dealing with each one as individuals and making sure that they know that I love them collectively, but also at the same time individually,
Right.
because they are three different individuals going through three different stages of life, and they handle things differently. And so it's like, okay, understanding that this one is in high school, this one is in the tail end of elementary school, getting ready to go into middle school, and then this one is just getting his feet wet in elementary school. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of emotions, a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and just a lot that's going on. It's like, being able to identify each child and figure out what each child needs, it's a job in itself, a whole job in itself. And even then, Kiera, when you guys were talking about parents, especially like, how sometimes like moms try to, I would say, like, project themselves on you. I find myself not necessarily say like being combative with my mom, but letting my mom know, like, I'm not this little boy anymore. No, I am a grown man with a whole family that needs my undivided attention as much as possible. And I really can't just stay like this little child forever. Like, no.
Right.
Like, even with my oldest, like, he's not going to be this little child forever. Do I have photos of when he was a kid? Sure. Do I look back on it? Sure, definitely. But at the same time, understanding that he's going to be a grown adult within the next 4 or 5 years. He's going to graduate high school, and then he's going to go on and do great things. And so while I still have him here, just equip him to be able to do those great things and, be successful, do better, be better, and make sure that, yes, you're going to be responsible for a lot of the actions and a lot of decisions that you make. And sometimes your decisions are going to be dealt with good or bad consequences. So you're going to have to deal with that, but at the same time, understanding that as long as you learn from your decisions, as long as you learn from mistakes, just do better next time. That's all we can ask. Just do better next time. And then find myself doing this 19-week workout challenge because me and the family, we are going to the DR sometime in the summer. And okay. So not only am I doing it just to go down to the DR, but also at the same time, because the last time I went to the doctor's office, I was told that, hey, your blood work's looking kind of fine, but your vitals are looking kind of we would need you to kind of get your stuff together and lower down your vitals. Like, yes, sir, got you. And pretty much just be able to live a healthy life. And so just taking like my health in an account and just making sure that I do what I need to do to see another day or year or month, whatever. Just so I'm able to see another day. I put it to you out like that. Mm-hmm. Yes. Listen. That might be coming in. That might be coming in the next, somewhere down the line. That might be happening. So yeah, I might have asked for days.
Okay. See you.
I don't.
The King Hawaiian rolls.
Listen. I love me some King Hawaiian rolls. Oh, I do, especially the wheat ones. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I haven't tried the wheat.
What am I doing with my life?
Listen. Mix that up with some honey butter. Oh, yes.
I never knew we were supposed to heat them up until like last year. I'm like, oh, we're supposed to like put these in the oven.
Oh, yeah. I've
been eating them my whole life for Thanksgiving. Just go.
Oh,
It's good. It's okay. You're in a safe space.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you're in a safe space. Just realize that whatever you say can and will be recorded for the rest of your life.
So if any of your patients like ever see this somehow, they'll be like, "Oh wow, my nurse didn't know to warm up the roll." Or if you're
Oh
lucky,
man.
they wouldn't know either, and there's like, "Oh, I feel seen." I trust my nurse. It's like I love my nurse. We're both the same.
You live and you learn, right?
Of course,
Yes.
yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
Honestly, I live and sometimes I don't learn because I'm probably gonna eat the next roll of my life unwarmed up, and I'm gonna be happy with it. But we all got to do what we got to do, to be honest, in life.
Oh, Ron, are you flying out of like Miami or Fort Lauderdale?
Uh,
I thought there's like a really just Michigan straight to DR. There might be.
no. Here's the crazy thing about it. So we got to drive to Chicago
Okay.
to fly from, I think, O'Hare. So from O'Hare to, I think, Miami.
Okay.
I think we're going to be flying into Miami. Then we got like an 8-hour layover in Miami before we actually go to the DR. So I'm like, holy crap, what am I going to do for 8 hours other than like just be lost in the Miami airport, knowing that I can't leave and sightsee just to get back in. Like, nope, not doing it.
Right. Yeah. 8 hours is awkward. I don't know. I've never like been on a layover that's so long that I can actually leave and come back.
I think you should be able to. Like, you could just check your bags early, right? And then just go and explore with your family.
I mean,
Way too long to be in the airport,
I know.
especially during the day.
Yeah. If you could like fly out the following day. Like, did you already book your flights and everything? I mean, you could always change it if it's like 19 weeks from now.
everything pretty much has been booked.
Man,
Everything has
from now. What
everything.
is it like? That's like 5 months. So it's like this will be like in July. Is this like for 4th of July?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much everything has been booked, paid for, yada yada. I'm not paying for it. So let's throw that disclaimer out there. I'm not paying.
Okay.
For it.
Okay.
I'm not paying for it.
Okay. Now this makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
So
I'm not paying for it.
I got the hookup. I don't know what you're doing in life, but I need some of that too.
Mm-hmm.
No comment.
Yeah.
I'll make the comment off stream. I'll make comment off stream.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of logistical work and whatnot, and basically we were just like, okay, we were basically told, hey, make sure you get your passports, get them done, don't care, just get them done, and so that way, once you get passports, we can leave. I'm like, shoot, passports done, got them in, and so like, okay, we're like, we could actually do some much needed traveling outside the United States for once. Like, yes, like let's go, and yeah, do some cruises and some traveling. And I know the oldest, he's talking about trying to go to Japan and visit Japan. I'm like, dude, we could actually do that. We could actually do that. But yeah, I know. I'm excited. So, while we're talking about traveling and everything else, how important is, and especially keeping with the overall theme for the Black History Month on a national scale, how important is to make sure that your physical health is at its best, especially when we're thinking about self-love, taking care of yourself? How important is keeping yourself physically healthy?
It's Black Wellness Month or something.
Yes, it's health and wellness. Health and wellness.
Mm.
Yes.
Mind, body, soul. Yeah, the physical definitely feeds into the mental. And there's definitely ways of like feeling physically healthy. Like, of course, the traditional working out, but there's a lot you can do with like martial arts, yoga, things that will still help you like that can help you mentally too, because you kind of are getting in touch with yourself in some way. And I've never practiced yoga personally, though I've done some mindfulness exercises, and they were definitely pretty like good for clearing your mind. But that was like a long time ago. But having like your body in sync is important. Just for like the regulation of, I mean, I haven't done biology in some time, but I know there's like your system regulates hormones and different things, and your body needs to be in like not like the best shape of your life, but pushing towards improvement. Yeah, and that's what my mom loves to say too, and she's right. She's like, if you don't have health, you don't really have anything else. And I just had like a physical a few weeks ago, and I'm fine. Like I checked out well, but the doctor was kind of saying like more like generically was like, you know, how often do you work out? And I'm like, how often do I what? No, but I was like, yikes. And he was like, really? Like he said that any day that you can any day that you basically eat, which I mean should be every day, you basically should work out like 45 minutes. I'm like, wow, that's a commitment. But I mean, people could really work that in pretty easily if your schedule is like if you can discipline yourself. But it's just been so far removed that like I don't really work out intentionally. Like there are things where I kind of have the chance. Like if you're at like I don't know an event, people are dancing. It could be at a concert. You could be in places where like you definitely have like the cardio, and you're like able to get the blood flowing, but like you're not intentionally like working out solidly for the amount of time. But I feel like you should. I'm really speaking to myself, so like it's oh my gosh.
Yep, that's it.
Like 45 minutes a day. I never heard that.
Yeah,
Maybe he said 30. He might have said 30, but like it's still, it wasn't quite an hour, but he definitely said like some amount of minutes.
Every single day.
I'm pretty sure he said any day that you eat food, that you can eat food or drink water.
That's every day.
Right. I'm pretty sure. He said any day that you could do something, and I'm pretty sure that something was something that you're supposed to do every day. And because normally I thought it was supposed to be like 3 to 5 times a week, like for like pretty like balanced. Like you could do it once in the weekend. Dr. Sunati.
Yes, Dr. Sunati for the win.
Yo,
she's young and sexy, so I'm all for it.
I'm dead, yo.
Hey.
So I definitely should do like in my old apartment building. I actually did have a gym. I lived there for like 2 years, and of course, well, COVID happened, so that like threw things off. But even before COVID, I gave up on like going, and I was like one of the rooms that was closest to the gym, so I really had no excuse. Like the gym was right there, and I was making it a point to work out like once a week at least. I was doing like strength training type stuff, basically lifting. So I think that also is like a little bit like harder, like cardio, and like there's some things that are like easier to kind of do like without needing to prep as much or adjust your diet as much. So I think like if I was just kind of doing more casual exercising, it may have been easier to have kept up. Yeah. And that's a big thing too. Like health should be really personal. Like there's the body aspect of it, but a lot of people just want to be healthy. It could be a blood pressure thing, it could be cholesterol, it could be anything that you just want to keep tabs on, even if it's not something visible.
No, that's very true. Yeah, like what I don't know how to pronounce it. Watch Iroquin, when he said like when your health suffers and everything else suffers. Without good health, everything else suffers, and it's really true. Like since I've been seeing like my personal trainer twice a week, I have noticed that like after I work out, I start to feel better, and like I knew that, but I never really like had it I guess I never like truly processed it. Like sometimes I go for a run just to feel better, like and it like it definitely does help because I'm like, okay, I'm working and I'm also like getting closer to like my physical body goals, but it's also just it just makes me feel better. It's just nice to do. Like it sucks. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, whenever I'm putting on my workout clothes, I'm not like getting excited when I put on my sneakers. I'm not like, hell yeah, I'm about to go for this run. I'll be like, fuck, I have to go for the fucking run. When I come back, I'm not like saying, fuck my life every second. Like, speaking of like yesterday, I signed up. Well, no, like I've signed up for like this gym in the past, and then I just never went. And then I signed up again, and I've actually been going. And so I went yesterday, but it took like, every will, like, inside me, every inch inside me to just like, all right, I'm going to the gym. Okay, putting on my workout clothes. Okay, I'm a little hungry, but that's fine. Let me still just go. And I was like, all right, I'm in the car. I'm driving to this gym. Like, I was not excited about it at all because partly I was just nervous because I was, working out without my trainer. And it's not like I've never done that. It's just, like it was, I guess, like my second time just like by myself. And I was like, okay, now I have a better understanding of it. Like since I've started seeing my trainer, not like in my entire life, but it's just sort of weird that I have like a goal in mind and I'm working towards that. And that requires me to put on uncomfortable clothes and get sweaty and, and, get purposefully tired. Yes, I do. I do get a sense of accomplishment when I do the work. Absolutely. Like it feels good. Like it feels like checking one thing off of my to-do list. Because I see my trainer twice a week and I'm trying to work out, twice outside of him. I wanted to today, but I ran out of time. Like, like Tuesdays are just like a hard day for me. Like, but I'm going to try Wednesday tomorrow. But usually, I see my trainer like Thursdays and Fridays. I won't be able to see him this Friday though. So I'm going to try to like work out. I don't know, but it does feel good to actually, do the work because you really don't want to, but that's where like the results are. That's where, like, it's like getting on the other side of the fence. Like you see what's on the other side of the fence. You want to, experience what's on the other side of the fence, but, to get onto the other side of the fence, takes a lot of hard work, but hard work really does pay off. And it just sort of sucks that like you kind of have to work towards your happiness, kind of like work towards like loving yourself. But, just like in any sort of relationship, love takes work. So that's, the case with even yourself. Like you have to have that relationship with yourself to, figure out how to love yourself and to, accept yourself and things like that. Slight tangent. But I think it correlates to, loving yourself. I started kind of seeing myself as instead of like really far out goals, it's like, oh, in 5 years, I'm going to be blah, blah, blah. I'm starting to just like see my future self as like just the next day. I was like, okay, what would tomorrow's Elle need for when she wakes up? All right, so what can today's Elle do for that? So, for the past like several months now, I've been cleaning my kitchen every night, cleaning the dishes. Like if you were to like, that's something that I never did. Even like before my mom moved in with me, that was something I just, like I was like a, single bachelorette living on her own. So it's just like, yeah, let me just like whatever. I don't have to clean up for nobody. This is just for me, blah blah blah. But since I've been, like cooking more and, I guess taking care of myself more, like I started to realize like, okay, I have to like clean and, make sure everything is, tidied and whatnot. So I've been cleaning the kitchen every night, and it's been helping, tomorrow's Elle a whole lot, because tomorrow's Elle can, fry eggs for breakfast, and, Elle loves eggs. And like
Hey.
tomorrow's Elle can, like, or even boil eggs, so I like that too. But it just makes, getting things easier rather than like, oh, it's dirty. I don't really want to, clean it right now. And let me just make something quick, or like just have like, some chocolate or some chips, because it's just easy to get. And, I could just deal with the dishes later. That's like, tomorrow Elle's problem, rather than how can I help tomorrow's Elle, rather than giving tomorrow's Elle more problems and more work to do. Because that's just going to pile on to tomorrow's Elle and next week's Elle and next month's Elle, rather than it's like, okay, what can Elle today do to help the Elle of tomorrow?
Okay, I get that. And yeah, I get that. I could buy with that. And pretty much what you're saying is basically, rather than put off anything that you could do for tomorrow, just do it for today. So when the tomorrow comes, it's actually a whole heck of a lot easier to manage. That's actually a really good way of doing things, way to think things. What? Stop it, Mish.
Yeah.
Stop. Mish.
It's actually MNLP.
Turns out that was actually your whole name the whole time.
But I do want to comment on what Chad said. He says it's a process, but self-love is something you find was there the whole time. In my opinion, he says, "Elle, you don't need to be tomorrow's Elle." Seriously. I'm not. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't really say that I'm just looking forward to tomorrow's Elle. It's just more so like, I love tomorrow's Elle, because that's also today's Elle. That's also me. Like, it's the same person. It's like, well, I don't want to like fuck up tomorrow's Elle's like morning routine. So not like in a punishing way. It's just like, when you love someone, you also want to take care of them. So you start to think about like, okay, what would they need? Like, it would be like the same thing for like if your child is going somewhere and they're cold. I mean, into the cold, you're gonna want to give them like a jacket, or like a sweater or something to keep them warm. So if they have somewhere to go tomorrow morning, it's like, all right, let me get their jacket out and put it closer to the front door so they don't forget. So it's just like something like that. It's like, okay, just to prepare for the next day, because it's like, okay, like, I'm really loving who I'm becoming each day, and I'm, I guess, becoming more and more excited about, who I'm becoming, because it's like, from working out, I'm seeing like my body change, I'm seeing results. So it's like, I see like that physical look, like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I look good. I'd totally do me if I weren't me.
There you go.
It's like, okay. So it's just like, I don't know, it's like a really cool like progression of like seeing how I'm changing, and I'm changing into who like I want to be, rather than who I think I need to be, or like who I felt as though like I should be. It's like, okay, this is who I want to be, and like it's really cool. like, it's like I'm learning about myself. I'm like, I guess, falling in love with myself because it just, it just seems like, more and new, exciting, like each and every day. It's like, okay, like, all right, like, oh, my thighs are looking great. My legs are looking like, all right.
Yeah, you're good.
No, I don't apologize.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I understand you. As a little dog. But yeah, it's just like, I guess, the process of just like falling in love with yourself, or like, learning to love yourself. It's like, okay, let me take care of myself. Let me, because of just like when I, like, just, it's weird when you're slowly coming out of a depression because like, you don't even realize that you're in one. Like I was in a, like my therapist called, like, I was like dysthymic, which is like a high functioning depression. So it's like, yeah, I was working, I was getting my work done, I was paying my bills, I was, like interacting with people. And, it's like, but, well, like also, I've been working from home for, 2 years now because of the pandemic. So it's just been like, like all that with my mom living with me, it just really like sunk me down, but I didn't really notice because it was just sort of, it was just slow, like it was a slow process of me getting into like a funk that I didn't even realize I was really in a funk, like, but I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know, the name or how to, what to put it or what to do. It was just like, I just slowly stopped enjoying things that I enjoyed, but I also didn't feel like I could enjoy them because we couldn't really go anywhere because of the pandemic. And also my mom literally judged everything that I did. So like, it was just like, okay, if I were to go out, there would be like some bullshit. So it's just like, I just didn't know what was right or wrong. And I just kept second guessing literally everything that I was doing. So yeah, so like, I'm like, but now that I'm like coming out of it, because I'm starting to feel like myself more, trying to interact as, as often, but as also safely as possible, and working out, and, like getting healthy. Like even like my workout yesterday wasn't even like that crazy. like I don't think I really like gained anything like of like drastic like results or progress towards like, my goals or whatever, but it was still, I did something, and like I had endorphins, and I felt good afterwards. And like sometimes I know this for a fact that like just, showing up is half the battle. Like I was like, all right, let me just show up to the gym, let me just go there. And it's not like I'm afraid of the people there. I don't feel like I look weird or look bad or anything. It's just more so the physical act of having to leave my home when I don't want to do things that I don't want to do, just to feel better. But I don't really feel that bad, but I know for a fact if I wait another day, I'm going to start feeling worse. So it's like, let me nip this in the bud before it starts getting, even worse. And then I see my trainer on Thursday. He's going to ask me if I worked out, like during the week. He's like, no, I didn't, blah, blah, blah. And it's, it's like, I don't want to hear that. So it's like, I gotta do like my homework. But it's good overall. Like, because it helps me overall. So it's like, all I'm doing is really helping myself, but it's just, just procrastinating and just, really not wanting to do it because of just, slightly being unsure of myself. But then when I actually started working out, like, okay, I do know what I'm doing. I've done 500 squats. Like, I know how to do a squat. Like, but just like doing it without him was just sort of like kind of weird. But I do know what I'm doing though. So it's just also like, I guess, as I'm speaking this out loud now, it's just also giving the confidence, like, boosting up my own self-confidence of knowing knowing that I do know what I'm doing. And I guess that could also fall back to me cooking. Like I do actually know what I'm doing. And I guess I don't really need, like my hand to be held all the time. Even though I know you want to hold my hand, Ron. But like
Yes. But not in that way. I'd rather help cook and help chop and hold your hand and chop.
Chop it up.
Chop. Anyways.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
It's something that I saw too with Chad's comment. Like it's just like the self-love is something you find was there the whole time, which is like that meme or that trope of like it was with you all along. The magic was inside of you the whole time. And
But
like,
it's true though.
it is something that has to come from within. And it's, I mean, like it seems obvious, but like oftentimes you are looking to other people for that validation or to like learn to love yourself. I saw a great post too. Like I feel like all of this was so timely because someone posted on Instagram. I mean, the person who posted it, I'm pretty sure is famous, so it's unfortunate that I can't remember who they were. But like a friend of mine reposted the video, and it was saying like, I don't really want people to look up to me or like love me. I want you to like feel comfortable around yourself, and then realize that you actually like love yourself. And if I could find that, I'm gonna send the clip. But it was like, yo, that's actually really real. Like, it is something like even if other people help guide it, it comes from you being comfortable with yourself, loving yourself, learning to cook with friends, and all that stuff is great. I mean, shoot, I feel like I plan my life often around like events, experiences, and like sometimes, like going on vacation or just treating yourself is good. And actually, that's a whole thing that we haven't even gotten into is like the truth, because we talked about boundaries, avoiding sort of negative things, learning to like heal from certain negative self-talk. But then there's also like the positive acts that you can do to treat yourself, because all of that stuff helps, but it comes from within. And there's definitely a lot of debate, on like the best way of living yourself. Some that might lean more into the spiritual, the religious, some the more secular, or just like anything. But whatever kind of works for you that gives you more value and you feel less like you're fulfilling other people, or less like you're having to hold yourself up to some other standard, and you actually are living for yourself in a way and building yourself up. I feel like that's working towards self-love, maybe doing that thing that you felt like you couldn't do because of XYZ expectation, but then it's not healthy for you to hold yourself back, right? So I don't know. That was just like some random thoughts that I had.
You're good.
And I'm gonna look for this video too, because it was.
Yeah, I definitely think like Chad mentioned, like having friends and like all these external factors does add, in my opinion, to like your value and like having self-love. But like I said, like it comes from within. And to speak to Lauren's point, like that's her name, sorry, Lauren, correct?
Who?
L.
L?
Yeah.
Oh no.
What?
It's,
L.
No, we call it L.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me just call it L. Like I like how she brought up the mom thing again, basically, and about like I feel like we're conditioned to kind of think a sort of way until like we learn to break out of it. And I admire like her work ethic and how she's able to like kind of slowly get herself out of the depression by like going to the gym and kind of like rewiring her brain and like saying, oh, I can do this, what my mother said or whoever else said something, it's false, It's like I really admire like you getting out of your depression, Elle. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know your first name, so I called you Lauren. Lauren, no.
That's funny. Let's go by Elle on the streams. But
No problem.
No, you're good.
But no, thank you so much. Yeah, like it's really cool because like I'm learning a lot about myself. And just like I just feel like a lot more capable. Like I wouldn't say I'm completely out of my depression, but I am definitely getting out of it.
And like think about it. I feel like so many of us are like walk around with functional depression, you know, but some are like better at hiding it as opposed to others. Like some just like dig the hole deeper, especially like with the times and everything going on. So like I admire anyone that can break it out of that and like kind of like get themselves out of it and do better for themselves, you know? And like when it comes to like your question, Ron's question, when you talk about like physical health and mental and emotional, they definitely are all intertwined. I feel like if you can get the physical health, physical aspect down pat, I feel like it can kind of help you like your mental and emotional. Because like when you look good, you feel good most of the time.
Right. It's true.
So true. Oh yes, so true. So true.
It's one of those like I wish it wasn't true. Because I feel like I was sort of fighting that for a long time. Because like I felt like I always had especially from going away to college, and just whenever I wasn't living with my parents, let's just say that, like I felt like I was, I guess, very strong, like mentally and emotionally, for the most part, but like. Of course, like Chad mentioned, like parents have a way of getting under your armor, which is true. Like, so of course, I'm just like not totally immune to whatever my parents say, but I definitely had like a different perspective from my mom, when it came to things. However, there were certain things that I was just very like adamantly against, and one of the things was my appearance in terms of. Like, when I was like 20, 25 pounds heavier, like I didn't really feel that bad. It was only like when I went on like the weighing scale and I saw that I was like, almost 200 pounds, I was just like, holy shit, that's, in my, like for me, I felt like that was like very heavy. And like to me, that was just something scary. Like if I'm not saying that there's like a magical pound weight for everybody. Like, like there are healthy women who are 200 and some pounds. And like they love their bodies and they love themselves. And I wholeheartedly admire that. I just wasn't that person, for myself. And so, but there was just like a part of me where I was just feeling like. Maybe this is it. Like, I don't know how to go down. Like, I want to go down, but I just didn't know how. And I was like somewhat accepting that of myself, but I didn't want to, but I just didn't know what to do. And, my mom constantly just like berating my looks wasn't helpful. So, but like, I just wanted to, I guess, sort of be rebellious and just be like, I'm happy with how I look. I'm happy. When in reality, I wasn't 100%. So I am a lot happier with how I look. I'm not saying like, oh, once I get abs for days and once, I look like Megan Thee Stallion, I'm going to be happy. No, like, like I'm happy now with how I look. And to the point I'm getting very cocky, which isn't good. But it is like, it is nice that it's like, okay, I love myself now. I look great now. I do want to see how else I can look, because this is actually, I'm enjoying this. Like, I find this to be really cool. It's like, it's cool to see like what my body can do, like what my body can achieve. Like, it feels like I'm in a video game of my own where it's like, oh, okay, like I'm, gaining more strength. I'm, gaining more speed. Like I find that to be like really cool. And it's like fun and challenging. So it's, like my trainer pushing me, because like, I'm constantly thinking like, oh, my legs feel like jello right now. Like I'm shaking. And he's like still telling me to, do 5 more squats, weighted squats. And I do it. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't think I could. Like that, I find that to be really cool, because it's like, I'm challenging myself. And then, you go home and you feel great. And it feels just like, like, I don't know, when you go and like play video games, like you play Super Smash Brothers and you beat everybody and everybody thought you couldn't beat them because you're a girl. Like it It's like it feels like that. Like it feels like an awesome win, and then you just kind of want to like
Keep doing it.
exactly. Yeah, it is pretty addicting. I don't think I'm gonna be like a gym rat, or maybe I don't know. Like, but I don't want to be like I don't think I don't think I can see myself being like that person who's at the gym all the time. But like I do find it cool. I do find it fun. I never really thought that I would, but it is like a lot of fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh yeah. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Which brings us to another point. And actually, Toby kind of almost like segued us into this point, which was another aspect of self-love. So Toby, kudos to you. So again, we're talking about self-love. We're talking about making sure that the body taken care of, which oftentimes helps us with other aspects of our lives. But the one thing that we tend to not always do every now and then is more so that self-care, meaning I'm gonna treat myself out to lunch, or I'm gonna treat myself out to this, I'm gonna treat myself out to that. Do you think that that's actually needed more so in conjunction with everything else, or should that just be something separately as far as like, treating yourself to something?
I think it's all intertwined personally, but like for me, when I think about self-care, I don't necessarily think about it as something like materialistically. I think of self-care as like, like going to the gym, cooking yourself a healthy meal, maybe just sleeping in, later than what you normally sleep into. I think that self-care should be done every day, regardless of how busy you are, even if it's just 10 minutes throughout the day, maybe reading something inspiring or watching a YouTube video. Yeah, that's how I look at self-care. I definitely think self-care boosts your self-esteem, and it helps you kind of like evolve into the person you want to be and it also makes you realize what you like and what you don't like too.
Very true.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah. I think kind of similarly, it's like it can't be a mix of, first of all, definitely intertwined with some of like with self-love. I do think like self-care sometimes as like acts. It could be materialistic things that you got for yourself, but it can be acts for yourself. Like I would think sort of a lot of what people think of when you talk about self-care, you might go to like the spa. Like I've never actually been to a spa. I've never had like a massage. I've never been to a sauna, but like a lot of times you might do something like that just makes you feel good, lets you relax. You could do meditation, mindfulness. You might do something for yourself that you kind of would expect someone to do for you. So it's like, I like Ferrero Rocher. I like Ghirardelli, whatever, how you pronounce them. I'm going to get myself some of this. I'm going to get myself my favorite chocolate, flowers, which to each their own, but those things will die. But plants, maybe I'm going to get myself some plants, something that is meaningful. And like, yeah, or I will take myself out. Like I remember when I first moved to Boston, or I should say Massachusetts in 2019, I would go out to Boston sometimes. Like I haven't really done this in a long time, but I would go out maybe in the afternoon, find a place like a park, or I didn't have a car. I would just like find my way into the city, and then I would just like find a restaurant, and I would just go out. Legal seafood was a popular one. I just went, ordered something, got a nice little lobster roll, got a beer, cool. Or like maybe there's other spots that I haven't been to that I've been on my list, but that would be nice just to like find a time. I'm gonna go. Like last year on my birthday, I just went out to like, I don't know, one of those roadhouses, like maybe Longhorn Steakhouse. Just treated myself to a meal, got myself a free dessert, whatever. And so I will just do things for myself, even if it's like, yeah, you might want someone to take you out on a date or to like cook for you, but if it's like a meal you really want, go for it. Cook it yourself. You want to take yourself out, see a movie. That's why I even went and saw a movie by myself for the first time, really. Like outside of like when you're in school, like your university will play it. I actually went and saw, I think, Captain Marvel. Went to the theater by myself, just watched it. Because normally I would always wait for like I don't know, my siblings or someone to go with or a good friend. But I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do this thing. Life is short, and like you can't wait on people to just like give you certain experiences. Like, yeah, it might be nice to share some big thing, but at the same time, part of the self-care can just be like, I'm gonna literally take care of myself and the needs or my wants. If it's within your means, even if it's something that seems like, oh, you're lonely, like, no, I'm just gonna do this thing for myself because I want to do it.
Right.
And I want to be able to enjoy, go out to happy hour, go to brunch. Group stuff is nice, but if you can do it for yourself, do it for yourself. And so that will also help you feel like you don't necessarily need to rely on someone else to make you happy or to give you certain experiences. But yeah.
Absolutely. To piggyback off of that, like you never know if, like, I mean, I don't want to sound morbid, but you never know if you're gonna like meet the person. So like that shouldn't, stop you from experiencing life, because no matter what, life is happening, life is going on, time is passing. So are you just gonna like not go to Spain because I don't know, you hear Spain is romantic and you'd love it if you went there with like your future significant other? That shouldn't stop you like going to see a movie. Hey Ryan.
What's up?
Like I've seen like a lot of movies by myself. I've gone to musicals by myself. I've I've done like a lot of stuff by myself. Like I like just checking out restaurants by myself, just to make sure that it's good. Before a guy on the dating app suggests we go somewhere, or it's like, oh, where do you want to go? I was like, well, I know for a fact this place is really good, and the place that you suggested sucks, so no. But it's like it's always good to just definitely do things for yourself. That I agree, that's definitely part of like self-love, self-care. It's also good to, I guess it's sort of in the same vein, just like experience other things. Like Toby, you said that you never went to yoga. I highly recommend you taking like a yoga class of some kind, because not only is it great for like mental wellness and like physical wellness, and it helps with like balance and posture and just stretching and doing different stretching. There's also a lot of girls there. And like you are a young, good-looking man. They're going to see you. You will probably have like your pick of the litter. It's like I see on dating apps a lot. I think I mentioned this before. Like I see on dating apps a lot that guys would be like, pretty much looking for like, oh, if you're into anime and video games and blah blah blah, hit me up. But then they never say anything about like what a girl could possibly like, which would be like yoga, particular TV shows. Like I know, like last time I mentioned like Grey's Anatomy, or just like random shit. Like if you see like a show that's like all girls, watch the show. You might like the show. Like that's not like a show for girls, like you might find it funny and stuff like that. Self-love without beating yourself up. Yeah, you can. Like it's, oh, can you give yourself tough love without beating yourself up?
Maybe like a super reality check.
I would say so. Like you could definitely give yourself tough love without beating yourself up. It's just it's called forgiving yourself. Which like I definitely practice that a lot, when it comes to like like if I were to like, if I wanted to go for like a 2-mile run and end up going for just 1 mile, it's like, I'd be like, Elle, like you've never like, like this, that's difficult, but you at least did 1 mile, like forgive yourself, love yourself, just like accept the fact that you did something, because you really didn't want to fucking be out here anyway. So just be happy that you did that. So like, that's like, I feel like that's a way of, like not beating yourself up. Like tough love could just be like, all right, let's do 2 miles next time. Just like trying to tell yourself that, like maybe just do 1.5 miles. Try to just get a little bit further, but like you don't have to beat yourself up about it, because like you really have to, learn how to forgive yourself and love yourself, because that's the only way to really progress, because you also have to understand that you're not perfect either. You're just as human. It's like talking, you got to talk to yourself how you would talk to a friend. Like you would be proud if your friend ran a mile, like they may have told you, like, oh, I'm going to run 2 miles. Like, all right, great. And they said like, oh, I was only able to run a mile. You're like, that's fine. Next time just try to run a little bit more. But that's how you'd probably talk to your friends. So you should talk to yourself that way too.
Why is it so hard for us to like talk to ourselves as like how we would talk to our loved ones? Like I find it for me it's difficult. Like I always give great advice to like my family and friends, but like when it comes to me, sometimes I can't take the advice I give. Like I feel like a Steve Harvey when it comes to my friends. Not saying, excuse me, that might have been the best example, but you guys know what I mean. I don't know why I find it so difficult sometimes. And I guess that like comes back to the topic of self-love and like pouring into yourself and like truly getting to know yourself and taking that time and putting the work in to know you, so you can believe what you say.
Yes. Agreed.
We call that cognitive dissonance, Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like I know people talk about that with dating and with other things. Yeah, give this great advice to people, but then it's hard for yourself. And so sometimes I'll even be like, yeah, maybe I don't know if I'm the best person to say this because I'm dealing with the same issue. But you gotta be more assertive, or you gotta stand your ground about this thing, or you gotta like just do what makes the most sense for you, knowing dang well that I'm not always doing that for myself. But that's the thing, is like if you could like be your biggest advocate, that would just like change your life, like all of our lives, tremendous. The same way that you might advocate for someone else or forgive someone else. Yeah, know thyself. Love thyself. In order to love thyself, one must know thyself.
Very true. To know thyself is hard.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
It's a life journey because we're constantly evolving as people, like the older we get, the more we learn, the more people we meet. Like you're always evolving. Like you're never stagnant. And if you are, that's an issue. That's problematic within itself. But that's why I feel like the process is just so difficult for others, compared to others, you get what I'm saying. But but yeah, I just like, you really just have, like I said before, to take the time out to get to know you. Maybe even ask yourself questions, like writing in a journal, watching videos, having that time to yourself, and not like always being like running away from yourself, like always going out, or let's say working out, or like drinking, or just, trying to distract yourself from yourself.
It's very easy to distract yourself from yourself because like we're never looking at ourselves. We're always, like, so it's very easy to see what other people are doing, what other things are going on than what's going on in your own life. It's like we don't all live in like a reality television show where there's a camera constantly watching us and then you're just playing it back. So yeah, like it's just like it's really hard to really just like kind of focus on yourself, and also it's just hard to admit, like your flaws, at least like out loud. And sometimes it's like discovering your new flaws or just long existing flaws, and to either accept that it's like, okay, this is just me, I'm never going to like parsley or something. That's not necessarily a flaw, but so to speak, or like this can be something that I can change, and am I willing to change that about me, and is it even something that I should change? So yeah, I don't know if I got off topic.
Oh no, you're good because a lot of what everybody is saying is basically pertaining to the topic. And just to kind of circle back just a little bit, especially what Kiara was saying is sometimes when you give other people advice, it's harder for you to accept your own advice. And I can admit I've been there many times before, and it has been a very tough pill to swallow. However, what I found out is once you're able to basically hold your own self accountable, it makes things a whole lot easier. And even then, going back to who said it, Barack, when he says, "Can you give yourself tough love without beating yourself up?" Yes. Again, I agree. Yes, due to the fact that once you start holding yourself accountable and you start messing and you realize you start messing up, you're able to talk your own self up without beating yourself down. Like, hey, you got this. You can do this. Don't give up. Like, yes, you may have slipped up here, and here, but don't allow your slip up to keep you from where you're going. And especially if you're trying to become better, it's like, yes, do what you got to do. Are you perfect? No, heck no. Never. You will never be perfect. Never. However, because of the fact that you're striving to be better, go for it. And take that time out to, yes, yes, and take that time out to actually be like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is where I need to go. Here are the steps I need to do in order for me to get there. And even if I don't follow every step that I take, because of the fact I'm making progress, that's more than enough reason to continue to keep on going. And that goes for anything that you do, regardless if you're in a relationship or if you're not in a relationship, because of the fact that you're making progress to become better, go for it. And again, definitely agree with what Kiara is saying. If you become stagnant, you might want to check yourself to see why are you becoming stagnant. And if we could be honest, sometimes it's the fear of actually being successful. And again, I can say that because I was there. The fear of being successful, yes. The fear of failing, yes, yes. And even then, talking to my pastor about a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with, even he's like, he says, listen, don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of failure, because at least by you failing, at least you know what you did wrong, so you can make the necessary changes to not do it again, but be better and do better and watch yourself achieve a lot more than what you expected to do. And I'm like, okay, I think I can do that. And I find myself actually doing. I'm like, okay, I can actually do this, And then again, going back to my 19 workout week challenge for myself was like, okay, I'm keeping myself accountable. Like I've tried like different workout apps, and this one was the one that actually fit me for me. Every day I'm doing like a 7-minute workout just to kind of get the blood flow and everything else. But on those off random days, I have a 23-minute workout that I have to do. And yesterday was the first time I actually did that 23 workout. And when I tell you it kicked my butt. But at the same time, I enjoyed it because, okay, this is something that is very challenging. That is what I need. And because I liked it and I enjoy it, I want to do it again and do it again and do it again. And pretty much making my own commitment to myself to be same thought. Making the commitment to myself to keep pushing and don't give up, regardless of what's going on. If you can make it, keep going. If you can do it, keep going. And just again, at the end of the day, just have fun doing it, And though you're doing it for yourself, just enjoy the journey as you're doing it for yourself. take notes, keep a journal, just do whatever you have to do just to kind of reflect on what you've done, and again, just see where you want to go, and again, keep striving to where you want to go. So,
Mood.
chat, if you guys have any other questions you want to ask us, feel free to do so. Feel free to do so. And so we're going to pretty much going to take a little turn and allow you guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop your questions that you want to ask us. And again, try to keep them within the topic. I know if you guys are on Twitch, try to keep your messages, your comments. Try to keep them like at a sentence, like just one sentence as much as possible. If you have to break them up in a couple sentences, go for it. Just when you do them, just give your previous sentence or your previous comment like 30 seconds before you're able to repost again. So, and again, if you have any questions, go ahead, drop those questions. If you have any comments, and if you guys have any comments from both Twitch and YouTube, again, we appreciate you guys. Keep dropping those comments and everything else. And yeah, this is a really timely topic, like what Toby said before. This is a really topic because a lot of things are going on. And this is pretty much a time where a lot of people, they have breakups a lot, especially yesterday. A lot of people have been dealing with breaking up and issues with relationships and whatnot. But sometimes that's probably like the best time to figure out who you are as an individual and what you can do to pretty much better yourself, and not be bound by what happened in your previous relationship. Just use what happened to gauge yourself as far as what you don't want to bring into your next relationship, what you don't want to experience in your next relationship. And again, just fine tune. Are you going to get everything perfect? No, you're not going to get everything perfect. Just cast that out aside. Like perfection, no. Just get rid of it as much as possible. Get rid of it, and just be like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is where I want to go. And if certain individuals, if they cannot meet me at any one of those points, they're not the one. And again, just keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Indeed.
As Toby pours another 12-year batch of Stella Rosa. So again, chat, go for it. You guys, drop your questions. Anybody else have any questions you'd like to throw out?
How has this is mostly self-love, but of course it can't be helped that today is the day after Valentine's Day. How has Valentine's Day maybe changed? Like, you have the pandemic, but even like without the pandemic, but pandemic is fine. But like from like decades ago, like how would you say Valentine's Day maybe in the culture or just overall family, friends, how have you seen that maybe change how it's being perceived or how people have celebrated it? And what maybe has been the same based on like what you've seen growing up or in like pop culture?
Like it's definitely changed in terms of like social media, with the evolution of the digital age. I feel like from what I've seen, like I've been seeing on Instagram from this year and last year, like it's a big show for a lot of people. Like, who's getting like the best showdown, who's getting the best gifts, and like I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like it's become more shallow, if that makes sense. Like I don't feel like it's as genuine, as it was from when I was growing up. Obviously I didn't have a phone. I was in the early 2000s looking at my parents and how they celebrated Valentine's Day. It wasn't like the mom or dad posting on social media what they got for each other.
Right. True.
Yeah, I feel like it's just less private. It's just everyone's in everyone's business. It's less intimate, and that's something that I'm not a fan of personally. And I'm also just super private too, so that could be it as well.
Okay,
No,
fair.
I hear you.
Yeah.
That's fair.
How's Valentine's Day? I mean, this is gonna be sad, but you know, because I live, you know, in the same county, actually, like kind of close to Parkland, and you know, a few years ago was the Parkland shooting at Stoneman Douglas, so it's always very like I don't know, like this year was very very weird for me because it's like you know Valentine's Day is coming up and it's like you know it's exciting, you know, like I used to just I don't know, I've always had different feelings about it because I've never like I was never really like dating anybody or like anybody serious during you know during Valentine's Day, so it's like I never really had like a Valentine or anything, but like you know, so like you know, throughout the years I've been like bitter or whatever. But like you know, with the school shooting, it's just like it just feels hard to like want to be happy. You know, like even though it's like yes, we all deserve happiness, but it's just very, you know, it's just kind of difficult to like. But it's like you have to you know still kind of like fight for love and you know like be happy about you know who you're with or you know who you love in life and everything, so but, you know it's like okay I gotta like try to at least stay positive a bit, but overall in general how Valentine's Day has changed, I think you know definitely like with the you know with social media and everything like it becomes a little cringe like when you're going through the the stories. Instagram was a little bit nice this year because you could like I guess post a special heart and then it kind of consolidated all of them into like one big story. Not big but like a series of stories on Instagram, but you can still see it's not like everybody knew to do that. So like you were still going through people's stories and like seeing like, oh, he got her flowers. Oh, that's his girlfriend. Oh, blah blah blah. Oh, this that. And it's like it's cute, but it's also becomes like, okay, like you just I get why you want to show off, but it's like, but it does feel like you're showing off. But like yeah, you got to be proud of who you're with. But it's like, I don't know. Like it seems very competition-y. Like I feel weird when people post like their engagement on social media like the pretty much the moment they got engaged or like maybe like an hour or so after. It's like no, wait like a week. Like we all don't need to fucking know this. Like it's like okay, girl I met freshman year in college, you're getting engaged and you had to tell us right at the moment you got engaged. Like like all, you know, 2,000 of your Facebook friends don't need to know right now. And Facebook likes to just blow that up to the top of the feed. Or like, you know, when it comes to like pretty much anything. So like, it just becomes very superficial, or just at least superficial feeling. Maybe it's not, but it kind of is though, because like if you're immediately posting that, it is. Like I don't know, maybe I'm projecting. Maybe this is how people show their love. Maybe like yeah, like exactly what Chad says. Like, don't they have family to call for? Exactly.
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like call like your family, call like your friends. You know, like talk to them about it. Blah blah blah. Like when I bought my home, like I didn't post about it immediately. Like I posted about it a month later. It's like, hey, I bought a home, by the way. I just wanted to like let it sink in instead of
right.
you know, getting all of those like likes and comments and things. Like no, I just want it to like sink in, and then it's like, okay, let me settle. I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned. I think getting engaged is a massive like moment in your life. Like Shouldn't it take time to sink in? How's like your first thought to post it on social media?
Right.
You know, like I don't know. My first thought would just be like money. Well, that's always my first thought. But like, it's like, oh, wedding's gonna be expensive, but I'm happy. He's like, oh my goodness, how much does this ring cost? I hope we could save up for other. I don't know. That would just be me.
No, you're good.
I don't know. The first thing like to post on like Facebook or Instagram is just, I don't know. That's just very bizarre.
It just doesn't seem genuine. Like I get what you're saying. I think like a lot of people do it for like validation.
For sure.
Like,
Mm.
like, look at me, look what I have now, like I agree with you, Elle, in terms of like just letting it sink in. Like that's such an intimate time of your life with you and your partner. Like I would just want to be with my partner for like the next few days, just like in awe, that I got proposed to. I wouldn't want to like tell the whole world just yet. Right. And for me, like I believe in like bad energy and like juju, stuff like that. So I'm just like, I don't think everyone needs to know, at least not right away. You know what I mean? So I agree.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with bad energy and bad juju, and it's true. Like, yeah, just to have all those eyes like on you, it's just like about something that should just be intimate between you and your partner. Absolutely, yeah.
Agreed. And again, I'm like Chad and Gary. Like I'm a very private person. And again, if anybody who follows me on social media, you guys know I barely post. If anything, I might like and retweet. Other than that, if I am going to post anything, it's probably something with what somebody else is doing. Other than that, I already have enough eyes on me as it is. Anyways, I don't need another 2 billion more to figure out what I'm doing. Like, no, it's none of your business. Like, no. No, if I can't call you up on my phone and let you know, then you don't need to know. Like, flat out. You just don't need to know. But at the same time, when it comes to like a lot of the postings, especially when it comes to like the Valentine's Day stuff, it's like, no. I find Valentine's Day to be overly commercial than anything else. Matter of fact, like I'm like that with mostly all holidays, if not all of them. I find them all to be very commercial and very just like flashy and hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm like, I don't really care, like what you're doing. Sure, great. I get that, but at the same time, like, I'm still trying to worry about me and mine, and not necessarily wanting to compare myself with you because I don't know what you went through to get to that. But at the same time, I'm trying to figure out why you had the need to post on social media in the first place. Like, if it's something private, keep it private. Not everybody in the world has and again, marinate on it for like a few days, a week, a month, let it sink in. Like, this is actually happening. Like, this actually happened, and then post it, go do what you have to do, just for me, just dwell in the moment, and just take it in because that's something that you can't get back. That is something that you definitely can't get back. And yeah, like I said, when it comes to Valentine's Day, I've seen it become more commercialized than anything else. And like I said before, not just Valentine's Day, but you think of any major holiday, it's been super commercialized. It's been a pain. Really, it's been a huge pain, and it's like, why? It's not supposed to be that way. Thanksgiving, spend time with your family. Get back to being around your family and not worry about anything else besides family. That's what you need to be thankful for. If you don't have family, have friends come over. You know, regardless if they're like childhood friends, high school friends, college friends, work friends, you know, just go ahead and just be like, you know, I'm thankful for, you know, me meeting you and being able to meet you and listen to you as a person and be there for you, especially during your hard times. You're like, you know, you're there for me during my hard times. So thank you for just being here. Thank you for just showing up. You know, and just be thankful for just life in general, because it could have been a whole lot worse, a whole lot worse. You know, and just take nothing for granted. Seriously, take nothing for granted. You know, and be very appreciative, be very thankful for what you got. In rant.
Sure.
That was me. That was like, amen. I think like one big thing too that this relates back with what you were saying, Kiara, because we had a conversation about this. I feel like a few years back, like relationships. I mean, like people can of course like post as much as they want or include people in it, but like it really should be something that y'all get to work on for yourselves before like blasting into the whole world. And it's like a relationship, not like I can't remember the exact term, like not a community ship or like a everyone like it's not something that like everyone needs to be involved in, even though some cultures maybe that's how people try to make it, where like everyone's looking and seeing like what you're doing with this person and they're giving their approval or disapproval or whatever. But you should be able to have that for like yourself to figure things out without always having like the influence or like the pressure of everyone else, everyone else's opinions and thoughts on it. Because like they already say that you marry your family, like the family of the person that you're marrying or whatever. But now you also want to add like the entire social media presence of both of you. It's a lot. I actually even remember a friend of mine was looking at someone, like we were just kind of like looking at Instagram, and my friend's very analytical, so it was kind of like I guess someone had posted like, this was like some years ago, a guy had posted like someone that they liked, like someone that they were talking to. It's probably like their girlfriend now, but like, and I guess like my friend was picking apart certain things that were in the caption. Like he never said I love you, the girl said I love you in the comments, the guy just put hearts back, and she was like, yo, like does he really love her? And then I'm like, yo, now people can like psychoanalyze and sort of like profile you, almost like just like be like, yo, like why are the interactions like this? And who knows how the relationship is in real life. But then like you kind of open yourself up to like all types of judgment, which I mean, hey, like you live your life, you don't have to like necessarily worry about everyone else's judgment, but sometimes it also ends up being more of a headache because people don't get the whole picture, and now they're only seeing what you show. But I don't know, it's up to everyone, to be honest. But I'm definitely more of a private person. Like I overshare on some things. Like I think I share a lot less now though than I used to. I never was really a relationship type, like I'm gonna put like what I'm doing on blast. But I think overall I've just kind of like, I mostly might share news articles, obviously this stream because I love y'all. That's like sometimes the only time I'm on Instagram is Tuesday night or Monday night or whatever, to promote this. And I know, yeah, here's a bunch of other stuff, but like it's kind of nice to kind of not always have people on the know of what you're doing. You're just doing what you need to do. Here's some cool events, here's some cool things, link with me offline or whatever. But a lot of stuff, like, I don't know. I think sometimes, like, social media, it can be nice. You can get a lot of energy and approval and whatever. But it's another kind of, like, addiction where it's, like, you're not really giving yourself that time to, like, discover yourself. I remember one great thing I just saw, ironically enough, on Instagram was, like, slow down. It was, like, slow down, my ninja. Like give yourself time to slow down. Because we always are going somewhere, or always like metaphorically, we're always jumping from thing to thing to thing, and sometimes it's nice to just like be able to slow down, disconnect a little bit. One person, like I've seen so many people actually post. I've probably seen more people post about this than like more people have been posting about like I'm tired of seeing bitter people on Valentine's Day than actually seeing bitter people on Valentine's Day, so that's probably good. More people have been like, yeah, like be happy, like love yourself, like love, like it's not just about another person. Like it was actually kind of refreshing to see a lot of my like friends, mostly like female friends, who were posting like, yeah, like I'm living good. Like one person said they had like disconnect from social media for like shortly after because it was just like there was too much of like the bitter, angry energy. And sometimes you do have to just disconnect from it, or else like you'll go crazy. So I feel like that's kind of nice that that's been more of a mood. Like it's funny, just like very different people like that don't even know each other, and they're just like a lot of. I feel like the energy is in the air this year. That like like focus on yourself. Or like I think I was saying how I would check in with friends, right? I would try to message friends, Happy Valentine's Day, just say hey, what's up to people. Maybe get back in touch with some people I hadn't talked with in a while. And it's nice. It's nice little platonic way of showing love and appreciation. And so it doesn't always have to be for like I don't have something to show off for people. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll let them speculate, or I'll let them do their fun. That's fine. Have your fun. I'm not like judging. Like people have like especially like a lot of people post like comedic posts for Valentine's Day that they appreciate the partner but have like fun with it, and that's cool. But I'm not really that pressed. People fall.
People fall so. A 10, a false hope.
So I definitely, yesterday on social media, I definitely did see like a lot of self-care posts. And like I even saw like a few people going on like solo trips, a few women that I follow, like YouTubers, famous YouTubers, they like went on vacation by themselves. And I'm like, that's a grand idea, like you're turning, I don't even want to say it's a negative, but you're just making this more about yourself. Like, even though like you don't have someone at the moment, like you're still hopeful and you're still going to be by yourself and enjoy your time alone until that person comes, or just whoever you're supposed to be with comes, into your life.
Right.
So it was nice to see that yesterday for sure.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's see. Anybody else want to add a little tidbit before we wrap this thing up and bring it on home?
Like a Christmas tree. Wrap it up and bring it home, like giving it to someone for Christmas. Or actually Valentine's Day, honestly.
Exactly, Valentine's Day. Like what we were just talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I'm done too.
I don't know.
Thank you guys for allowing me to come on today. I really
Of course.
Yes.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Each time. Every time.
Yes. And again, Kiara, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us and vibing with us. And thank you, chat. We could not have done this without you guys. You guys know how we do. Shout out to Chad. Shout out to, let's see,
Barack.
Watch Roll Quinn. I might watch Roll Quinn. Yeah, you have to tell me how to pronounce that.
Yeah, how do you pronounce that?
Liz, of course.
Yes, Liz. And then, of course, Ryan. Shout out to Ryan.
Might be the Ryan that just.
Mish.
Yes, our Twitch moderator. Shout out to Mish. Kyle. Shout out to Kyle. He was in here for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Kyle.
Mark was also in here. Of course, we got Liz. And then shout out to the spam bots. We could not have done this without you as well. And let's see, anybody else? Am I missing anybody else?
We said Barack already, right?
Yep. And then to our people watching us on Twitter, I don't want to miss you guys out. Thank you guys for watching us on Twitter. I know we can't see your messages, we can't see your comments and whatnot, but shout out to you guys as well. Still, leave a like, a comment in the video section if you're watching on Twitter, and just let us know, your thoughts, your questions, and things of that nature, because we appreciate you guys as well. We appreciate you guys just as well. And if anybody else who came in, oh yeah, hold on. to our lurkers, those who's hiding in the shadows. You ain't said a word, but you was watching. Shout out to you as well because you are accepted as well. You may not have said nothing, but because of the fact that you tuned in, shout out to the lurkers as well. We love you. We appreciate you as well. So, without further ado, Toby, L, any last words? Kiera, any last words?
Just go buy some chocolate.
Yes,
Bruh.
30% off.
And, love yourself and be patient with yourself.
Yes.
Mhm.
Take it one day at a time. Like
Yes.
like Elle does.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
another way of wording it. That's what I do. Take it one day at a time.
Yes. Agreed.
To the lurkers again, because a friend of mine hit me up after the last stream and they're like, I think we need a name cuter than lurkers. I don't like how that makes us sound. And I was like, hey, listen, if you're a lurker, you're a lurker. I'm gonna need you to internalize that and work through that. Meditate, do whatever you need to do. I don't know if there's a name that we can come up with, but I don't know. You a lurker, it's all good. Just own it.
Yes.
You're
I mean,
to everybody.
we don't know how to say it, but yes, thank you guys for tuning in. And again, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, smash the notification bell, whatever you got to do to stay notified whenever we go live. Oh, they're shy.
Yeah.
You know what, Liz? You're right. They're shy. They're shy.
That's true. That's okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thank
So
you,
if you're
Chad.
shy, yes.
You're amazing as well. I've never been to Philly actually, besides like layover in the airport, but I'm gonna have to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philly was one of the places I was considering moving to. I've been there once and just fell in love with the city.
Mm.
And I like how it's like close to New York City and DC. It's like, it's like in driving distance, like 2.5 hours or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And again, like watch roller can.
Hey,
I don't know.
Watch.
that's a dinner on him.
Watch. B-roll. I'd love to watch whoever that is.
I don't know. I'm gonna call you the Watcher. So the Watcher, thank you.
Watcher.
It's yeah, like, and
Watcher.
again,
Oh,
I still can't read the last part of that, but I'm assuming it's a reference to something. Let me look at your Twitch account, maybe get some hints.
there you go.
Watcher.
Watcher. So again, Watcher, thank you for coming in and everything else. And again, like Watcher said, until next Tuesday, same time, same channel, same trio. You never know. We may have a special guest. And with that being said, again, shout out to Kiera. Thank you for coming in and vibing with us. And we are out until next Tuesday. Night.